It's October 6th, 2020, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxel, and before we get started, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, and all the other buttons. And write longhand letters to your friends on nice stationery, telling them all about how much you like us and encouraging them to watch. President Trump has COVID-19. He's more than one of a dozen people who got the virus after attending a Rose Garden ceremony masquerading as one hell of a murder mystery party. This means I have at least three things in common with President Trump. We both caught COVID-19, we both have these five-dimensional comb-overs, and we both used business losses as a cover to avoid paying personal income taxes. In my case, I used the obscene losses Sketchworks suffered in order to pay legal fees for our lawsuit against the grease rights holders. A lawsuit which is still sitting in federal court in Manhattan with literally no advancement over the last 7 months. Hashtag free vape. Actually, I'm not sure this one counts. I also had sex with Stormy Daniels, but she paid me hush money to keep it quiet. Oops. To prove that he's doing just fine, President Trump had the Secret Service do a drive-by to greet supporters gathered outside Walter Reed Medical Center. It's the only known instance of a drive-by where the occupants of the car were in more danger for their lives than the people on the street. Health authorities in New Jersey have contacted more than 200 people who attended a Trump campaign fundraiser shortly before President Trump confirmed his COVID-19 diagnosis. They're letting attendees know that they did, in fact, pay a lot of money for the privilege of being exposed to COVID-19. Last Tuesday saw the first presidential debate between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. And the less said about that, the better. The 90-minute debate often veered off topic and has been described as chaotic, unpresidential, and a national embarrassment. Did anybody really expect Lincoln Douglas out of these two idiots? Joe Biden says he'll debate President Trump next week if, in his words, the scientists say it's safe. A spokesman for the scientists responded with this question: "Are you nuts?" Biden's answer was yes. The state of Tennessee admits it made a mistake when it put COVID-19 testing supplies up for auction on a government liquidation website. The state pulled the listing, but not before someone placed a $150 bid with the username of White House COVID Response 420. Joe Biden is campaigning in Florida this week with the hopes of turning the historically red state blue in November. Biden will also be looking at various senior living facilities in case things don't go his way next month. Or if things do go his way next month, and Kamala Harris makes New York Governor Andrew Cuomo send Biden to a nursing home. For his own safety, of course. The National Retail Federation predicts Halloween will be anything but traditional this year. Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard tells us COVID-19 is changing how people plan to celebrate.
Halloween may be the least frightening event of 2020, and that's a reason to celebrate. A National Retail Federation survey shows most people plan to decorate or dress up in costume. Stay-at-home activities will be more popular than the usual trick-or-treating. Only 1 in 4 people surveyed plan to go door-to-door asking for candy. That's great news for me, because the only candy I'm giving out this year is a bag of Smarties. I mean, at least it's not circus peanuts. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Tim Millard.
Smarties. Thank you, Tim. I give out ketchup packets to kids who trick-or-treat at my house. That's not true. On Halloween, I just go to a neighbor's house and drink all night. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station will soon be having their bathroom facilities upgraded to include a $23 million toilet. I know it's getting added to my Christmas wish list. Ireland's Supreme Court says Subway sandwiches have too much sugar to be legally considered bread. All sandwiches in Irish branches of Subway will now be provided on foot-long potatoes. The court's judges have yet to say whether the contents of the sandwich can legally be considered meat. A Subway spokesman dismissed the decision, saying the Irish Supreme Court's ruling meets the legal definition of bullshit. A group of grey parrots at the Lincolnshire Wildlife Centre in England had to be separated for encouraging each other to use profanity in front of their guests. Now, this is the same reason NewsBrake writers don't have weekly meetings anymore. Many people are finding extra time on their hands with unemployment and coronavirus lockdowns. Here, with a piece that would have been better suited to have been shown 6 months ago, is NewsBrake correspondent and perpetual late-to-the-partier, Allie O'Neill.
As I mentioned last week, I recently watched the Netflix documentary The Social Dilemma, which absolutely confirmed every paranoid delusion I've ever had about being spied on. Now, while there is some irony there about the algorithm showing me the dark side of the algorithm, I have decided to make a change in how I consume digital media. For me, scrolling Reddit has become an addiction, and as I learned from The Power of Habit, the only way to stop one habit is to replace it with another. Unfortunately for me, the habit I replaced it with was watching copious amounts of YouTube. What I need to do instead is replace all of that time with what Cal Newport calls in digital minimalism, high-quality leisure. Now, as I learned several years ago when I deleted my Facebook because I'm better than you, and as I have continued to learn every time I've taken an extended absence from Instagram, not that I want to brag, coming up on a year in a couple of months, not having these digital distractions can really free up your time to do things like request an absentee ballot, paint a picture, teach your cat to walk on a leash, learn an instrument, grow a plant and inadvertently kill it.
Gretel leaves zum Hansel.
Sie müssen Deutsch lernen.
Often detoured und rief.
Prepare a magnificent feast. Save Skyrim. Save Stillwater. Save your money and don't play Fable 3 because it's just awful. Watch all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. Read the entirety of A Song of Ice and Fire. That's it? Write George R.R. Martin an angry letter for not finishing it yet. Sew a medieval dress. Make your own terrible Game of Thrones fan film. Get sued by HBO. Move off the grid to a cabin in the woods. Nobody will know you're there. You're free! The best part about being disconnected and going on a low-information diet is that when someone with the wrong opinion wants to get outraged with me, they can't, because I have no opinion, because the algorithm no longer tells me what to believe. Also, there's crushing loneliness, because all I had were the parasocial relationships with people I don't actually know, and now I have nothing, so that's fun. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Allie O'Neill.
Thank you, Allie. Sorry about that whole Game of Thrones lawsuit thing. Nope. We cannot do that. Sorry. Hashtag free vape. It's official. Christmas shopping season is here. What the? Online retailers are expecting big sales this year, showing that despite the coronavirus, business can still be booming. Frontier Airlines, a low-cost air carrier based in Denver, Colorado, is offering free flights between October 13th and 20th to the city of Orlando to anyone named Orlando. Not to be outdone, Spirit Air is offering free flights to anyone who can fly their planes. The Atlanta Falcons are using drones to help sanitize the seats at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. According to the stadium's owners, the drones cut down on the time spent cleaning the stadium. The drones will also be used to take out Falcons coach Dan Quinn if he loses yet another game. So, Sunday. Fans of the English soccer team Arsenal are outraged that the team's long-serving mascot, Gunnersaurus, has been let go. Arsenal fans were also disappointed to learn Gunnersaurus is not an actual dinosaur. And I know soccer is called football in England, but we're in America here. We call it soccer. We're also not very good at it. Tropical Storm Delta is the newest storm in what's become a very busy Atlantic hurricane season. As of this recording, the storm is in the Caribbean, and a very angry college dean is threatening to put the storm on double secret probation if it causes any more trouble. On Friday, actor and star of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Rick Moranis, got punched in the face while walking through New York City. When asked if he was hurt badly, Moranis replied,
"Oh, no, I'm fine. I feel great."
If anything can bring our divided nation together, it's finding and prosecuting the guy who sucker punched Rick Moranis in the face. Who am I kidding? There's at least one blue check moron on Twitter frantically typing, "He totally deserved it." Last week was a busy one for animals in the news. Last Tuesday, police in Tewksbury, Massachusetts were called to remove a McDonald's cup from the head of a skunk. Wednesday, police in New York City rescued a raccoon stranded on a construction site at the World Trade Center. Thursday, animal control was called to untangle a deer caught in a hammock in Amherst, New York. And Friday, a bear climbed on top of a garbage truck in Kidder, Pennsylvania. Now, each of these instances only confirms my theory about animals. Animals are so stupid. The National Zoo confirms its new panda cub is a boy. Zookeepers revealed the cub's gender by setting a wildfire in California. On Friday, 103-year-old Al Blaschke made it into the Guinness Book of World Records for being the oldest man to tandem skydive. Blaschke jumped out of the plane at 14,000 feet over San Marcos, Texas, and fell to earth at 122 miles an hour. All went well until about 6,000 feet when Blaschke's head blew off. His body made a near-perfect landing. His head has yet to be found. Since we've probably blown your head off by now, that's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxell. Say hi to your mom for me.
I see, geez, the reason I was able to stay sequestered in my home is because some black woman was able to stack the grocery shelf.